Hello everyone and welcome back to IMRT Reviews. I'm RT and today we're doing a non-spoiler review of Mortal Kombat. So let's get straight into it. Mortal Kombat is a game series that I am a fan of. I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore fan, like there are some serious hardcore fans of this franchise and I applaud you for being so passionate about something that you like. But I do understand the world. I know lots of the characters within it, so I do have a general understanding of the Mortal Kombat franchise. And when this film was announced, I was like, nice, I'm excited. A decent, just okay Mortal Kombat film could be a lot of fun. And this film is exactly that. It's a fun, enjoyable watch. It does have quite a lot of flaws, but at the end of the day, it was still a lot of fun. So we're going to talk about those flaws first, because we like to talk about the negatives and then end on a positive here on this channel. So let's talk about those and then we can finish on the positives, because there's some epic ones, I must say. So I'd say the biggest flaw of this movie is the character setup, because if I didn't know anything about the games, I would not have a clue who this character was, where they've come from, anything like that. And that wasn't a problem for me, because I know, the character's backstory, something like that. But you've got to take into account other viewers, people coming into the franchise for the first time. And if I was one of those people, I wouldn't have a clue what was going on. Because the characters either got a 2-minute expositional backstory, or they got nothing. And that is a bit of a problem when you want to build a new franchise up, because you want to give those time to those characters so the audience can understand and relate to them. But there was none of that, unfortunately. I think that was probably due to the runtime. The runtime is only an hour and 50 minutes long. Take off 10 minutes for the credits, that's an hour and 42 minutes. If they had just slapped on another 20 minutes there, they could have taken the time to flesh out these characters, because there's a lot of them, and then any new audience members can be like, okay, so that's Shang Tsung, that's Raiden, etc., and it would have made it a lot easier for the new viewer experience. Next, I wasn't a fan of the dragon marking thing, where the dragon mark means they've been selected for Mortal Kombat. In the trailer, the main character and Jax are talking about the mark, and he's like, it's not a birthmark, Cole. You were chosen. Cole was born with it. It's a mark. It's a birthmark. Just a silly thing in the trailer where I was like, seriously? But yeah, I wasn't a fan of it in the film. I thought, why have this overcomplicated thing when you can just have a simplified version of it, where you just have Earth's greatest warriors come together to defend Earthrealm as their champions. So much easier than this other thing. And that leads on to the writing. I was not a fan of the writing in this movie. They have massive exposition dumps. Like, they had a board of exposition and they just vomited all over the audience. Wasn't a fan of that. They had characters just popping out of nowhere, left, right, and centre. I was like, okay then, sure. And characters forgetting about threats that previously in the film were a big deal to them, and then they just forget about it later on. Stuff like that, where I was like, the writing is not that great in this movie. There are a few plot holes with what Raiden can do. Like, they're so obvious. I can't believe they made it into the film. I sat there like, why can't they just do this? And stuff like that. Like, there's just two big plot holes there. Characters are constantly breaking the rules, which they make a big deal out of in the film. Like, the rules, they can't be changed and stuff like that. Yeah, they're always changing them. So I was like, why even make a big deal out of them? I mean, they're a big deal in the games. They're just not in the film, sure. And there's changes to the lore from the games to the film that I was not a fan of. I don't think it really worked, but I can't talk to that due to it being spoilers, but yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of it. Just a quick one before I talk about the positives. If the lighting looks different, it's because I managed to drop one of my lights whilst grabbing a drink. So if you see a difference, that is why. I apologise. But let's talk about some of the positives in this movie. And the first big one being Sub-Zero. The man was epic. I am Sub-Zero. Flingue. Awesome line delivery from the actor. The actor did a great job in the role. He is to be feared. He just kicks ass the entire time. He's destroying people left, right, and centre. And I think I'd compare him to the Winter Soldier in the role he plays and how epic he is. And some of the things they do with his powers make extremely suspenseful scenes. I sat there like, oh, this is cool. Oh, I like this. This is some good stuff. Give me more. And I hope we see some more Sub-Zero in the future. Apparently the actor has signed on for a 5-year contract. I can watch 5 Mortal Kombat movies with Sub-Zero 5 times, I'll be happy with that, because he was epic. I liked the score a lot. It added a lot, especially in the Sub-Zero scenes. It made him 10 times more intimidating and added a lot to the action when he'd be thrown down. The film looks good. It was directed by Simon McQuard, who was a first-time director, and for a first time directing a movie, did a great job. I think he has a bright future in the filmmaking industry, because this film does look quite nice, and the action scenes, while not being perfect, they were good. There were some scenes where they had pretty poor editing. It was quick cut action scenes, so you couldn't really see what was going on. But other times when it was nice and in shot, brutal, bloody, I liked it. So overall, the action was pretty good. Kano was the other standout character to me. He added a lot of comedy to the movie, and the jokes landed most of the time. I found myself laughing quite a lot, and if anyone knows me, they know I'm quite straight-faced in the cinema. I'm just like, the entire time, so it does take a lot for me to laugh, and I laugh quite a lot, so that's really good. And the performances overall, they're decent. Like, they didn't have a lot to work with. Like I said, they didn't have much backstory, but what they did have to work with, they did a job with. And I mean, no one was bad, no one was spectacular apart from Sub-Zero and Kano, so I think the overall performances were good. Overall, I think Mortal Kombat is a fun time, and I feel like I've probably come across as quite negative in this review, but that's because I'm looking at it from a filmmaking standpoint. But even when a film is flawed, it can still be quite fun. Like Warcraft, Batman vs Superman, both films I have tons of fun in, and they're not perfect movies. And this is one of those where it's not perfect, but you can still have a lot of fun with it. So, would I recommend it? On the basis of seeing Sub-Zero alone, I would recommend seeing this film. It was the first film I've seen whilst the cinemas reopened. They reopened on the 17th of May. I went down to check out Mortal Kombat, and I had a great time. Sub-Zero blew me away. I loved it. So I would recommend seeing Mortal Kombat. So that was my review of Mortal Kombat. If you have seen the movie, please let me know down in the comments below what you thought of Mortal Kombat. And if you have enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.